What's up, Tennessee Sports Nation, and welcome back to another episode from the What's Nation, where we're going to go over Harold Landry and everything has to do with him being granted permission to seek trades to another team. As you know, Harold Landry's been with us since 2018. He's been with us this entire time. We drafted him in the second round. He's played every year for us but one, and that is, back in 2022 whenever he ended up getting an ACL injury and missed the entire season right before the season kicked off. Now, if you look on X, which if you're not following me on X, make sure to follow me on X. I'm on all platforms, so give the What's Nation a follow. YouTube, TikTok, and X. And recently, I converted over to Facebook and Instagram because we all thought TikTok was being banned before Trump saved it, right? So I was prepping to expand the platform, going, elsewhere, on other platforms out there. So it's now out there. So it's new over there. So if you're not following me over there, send me a follow. But here it is on X, broken by Adam Scheffner. This was yesterday. This happened. I'm a little late on it because, I have to work and everything. I don't do this full time. But yes, the Titans have granted permission to former Pro Bowl linebacker Harold Landry to seek a trade per sources. Now, he started all 17 games last season, finished with 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 18 pressures, 4 pass deflections, and he's only 28 years old and has 31 and a half sacks in the last 3 seasons. Overall, I think it's slightly over 50 for his career as a Tennessee Titan, but they're looking to trade him away, get something for him. If not, he'll probably end up getting released because we're trying to free up that cap space, right? And then also over on ESPN, they spoke about it a little bit yesterday on ESPN. Basically the same thing, except they added a little bit more, that he played 83.1% of the defensive snaps last season. They went over his stats again, and that he's due $17.5 million in 2025. Now, over his time as a Tennessee Titan, right, 2018, you see his stats go up almost every year until he ended up getting that injury in 2022. So right before the injury, 12 sacks, and then, he had that year off. Then he came back 10 and a half. So, not as much as the year before his injury, but still a productive year, double digits. Hey, Tappy the Gorilla says hi in the chat. What's up, brother? He said, good job, good live, bro. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being here. Hey, go ahead, help our brother out. Send a like button this way, go ahead, smash it. Help the channel out. But yeah, Tennessee, he ended up getting 10 and a half sacks in 2023, and then this year he ended up with 9. So a little downgrade. He kind of regressed a little bit after his injury, and you expected him to come back stronger 2 years after his injury, because 1 year after you expected him to be still kind of coming up, right? He didn't reach his 12 the year prior, but he got 10 and a half. Then he went down to 9. So, and he played every game. He's been pretty reliable minus that 1 year with the injury. 15 games played, 16. So all, he hasn't missed a game besides his first year and then that injury year, right? Says, I am, like and subscribe. Hey, I appreciate it, Mason. Hey, help the channel out, brother. Look, we talk Tennessee Titans all the time here. Basically all Tennessee, right? This is the What's Up Tennessee Sports Nation, also known as the What's Nation. We're talking Titans, Predators, Vols, those MTSU Blue Raiders, and of course the Memphis Showboats as their season kicks off next month, the end of next month. We're like a little over 30 days. I think it starts, their game is the 30th of March, right? Their game 1. So if you're into that UFL, hey, we're going to bring it to you every week as we're going into this offseason. I know the NFL Combine's happening right now, so we'll see how that goes as well, which I'll get into as it continues, because we do have the number 1 pick in the draft. So we'll see if we're going to go get a Harold Landry replacement like an Abdul Carter, or if we need a quarterback, right? So we still need Shador Sanders or something like that, or Cam Ward. So, or we could possibly trade back, but the choice is ours, right? It's whatever we want as a team. But yeah, total right here, 50 and a half sacks, chat, 50 and a half. And so he's been dominating, right? If you look over here for the season, he's off the roster. Who do we have left, right? Harold Landry, 9 sacks for us last year. The next best pass rusher on our team, Arden Key. This man played in every game but one, 6.5 sacks, not looking good. Then Big Jeff, guess what? He's next. And, Big Jeff, he's good for clogging the middle, but he's never going to be, getting sacks a ton. He's stuffing the run back there, making plays. But, yeah, I mean, that's typical for a defensive tackle, right? So 5 sacks, pretty good. I mean, but when you start looking at who else we have as an edge rusher, I mean, we just don't have it, chat. We don't have it. Look, if you look over here, I mean, this is the depth chart. Obviously, it hasn't been updated since the season. So when you're looking at our the strong side linebackers, Harold Landry, then what? Gay, Johnson. I mean, come on. Weak side, you got Key. Okay, yeah, he's decent. But then Harold, Jalen, what? He done something in preseason. I didn't see this man all season long, unless he's just going to step up. And then Duke, that's a practice squad player. So, I mean, it's a little tough over here. Then even our inside linebackers, I mean, we're still going to need help. But Jack Gibbons, obviously, he's injured. He's had that serious injury. I mean, we got Murray, we got Baker. Let's see if they come back. Cedric Gray didn't see much of him. But, we're talking edge rushers. So, it's going to be tough over here for these outside linebackers who's coming across. You're trying to get these quarterbacks these days. I mean, you saw in the Super Bowl, you have to get sacks. And we don't have the guys to do it. And once we lose Harold Landry, it's going to be tough. We got to get a replacement. So there's really only 2 ways you can get a replacement, right? You can draft or you can look at free agents. So if we look over at this chart was put up by Sport Track. This is also the top paid linebacker. So real quick before we get into free agency and everything like that, look, Harold Landry, he's the back. Fred Warner. I mean, you got some pretty big name guys up there. But, I mean, is he the 13th best? I mean, he might be better than some of these guys. I mean, you're talking about Aziz Al-Shaair, right? That's below him. But, he's still the 13th highest paid linebacker for this season. So we have to cut him, let him go, see what else we can get. But what else is out there, right? So this is something put out by Fox Sports. They put this out on the 20th, so just 7 days ago. I mean, they're top edge rushers available in free agency. I mean, some of these things, it's going to be tough. Remember, Harold Landry's coming off of a 9-sack season, which is still pretty good. I mean, he almost hit double digits, even with the terrible season we had. But Golston right here, he's number 10. His sacks 5.5. He had more than 5.5 in 2024 than the first 3 seasons combined, stepping into a role of being a rotational player. I don't know. This dude, Aziz Al-Jalari, whatever his name, I think he played from LSU. I can never pronounce this man's name. But he had 6 sacks in 11 games. Okay, so he had 6 sacks, 22 in his career. I mean, but he is 24 years old. He's very young. You got Lawrence. Yeah, he's a little older. Look, he's about to be 33. But then Patrick Jones, 26, still a young guy, just 5 sacks in the first 4 games in 2024, finishing with 7. So 7 sacks last year, still less than Harold Landry. You finally start getting up here, it gets a little better, right? Dante Fowler, 30-year-old pass rusher, 10.5 sacks. So he's out there. This guy, I'm not even going to try to say his name, but he's only 25. He had 8 sacks in 2023, but only 3 last year as a starter in 2024. So not looking good. So the pass rushing market doesn't look that good for us to replace Harold Landry. I mean, you start getting into what Fox Sports considered, within their top 5. Here, Chase Young, right? He's only 25. This man feels like he's been in the league a while now, right? He's played on a couple teams already. But he's only 25. He showed he could stay healthy, right? So he played good amount of games this year in New Orleans, but had only 5.5 sacks his first year in New Orleans. It's kind of tough, right? Especially when you're going Harold Landry. Harold Landry is not as big name of a player as Chase Young, but he still had 9 sacks. Chase Young, 25. I mean, he has the injury-prone thing, and you see the effort plays. It may not always be there. So it is a little tough. Then Riddick for the Jets. Let's see what they say about him. So he's 30 years old. He had 50.5 sacks for 3 different teams. Okay. Yeah, so that's who's out there. Josh Sweat, you just saw him in the Super Bowl, right? He had 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl. But, another thing, he's getting a little older. 27, not too old, but 27. So, and then Khalil Mack. If you want him, you're going to have to pay big money. And I'm pretty sure he wants to be on a Super Bowl contending team, not a rebuilding team. I mean, look at the teams he's played for throughout his career, especially when he did that money to the Bears, go over there. He wasn't all for it. So throughout his career, he just I doubt he'd want to be a Tennessee Titan, right? In free agency, it's got to go both ways, and I don't think the Titans, he would want to be a Tennessee Titan. But then if you look at our next option, right, next option to replace Harold Landry, it's got to be through the draft. And if you're talking using that number 1 draft pick, it's going to be Abdul Carter, who, he had a really good year this year. But if you look at his other years before, right, 3 years college, first year 6.5 sacks, his second year 4.5, but then in his very last year 12 sacks, and now he's a big name player, hoping to be that number 1 draft pick. But we'll see if we get him. I don't think he participated in the combine from what I was seeing. He had type of injury, supposed to get surgery, then not get surgery, so I don't think he's like fully participating and stuff. But hey, it is what it is, chat. But that's all I have for today. It's been a minute since I've been live on this channel, right? I've been putting out shorts, been trying to figure out content to make as the Tennessee Titans season did come to an end. And like I said, I expanded to other teams within Tennessee. And it's the What's Nation now. So make sure you go ahead, give me a follow, and let me know what you think we should do to replace Harold Landry down in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the What's Nation, and tighten up, baby.